In 1776 I wrote the Declaration of Independence to escape a tyrannical government that was ruled by a monarchy. I also wrote that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government.
As free citizens of the United States, we make this Declaration of Independence from a corrupted federalized government. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal position to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that we should declare the causes which impel us to such separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of governance becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experiences have shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed to. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, no, it is their duty, to throw off such government and to provide new government with a citizen's constitution for the future security. Such has been the patience of the citizens, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present federalized government is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over the citizens. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. The corrupted federalized government has refused to assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good of its citizenry. The corrupted federalized government has forbidden the governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till its assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, it has utterly neglected to attend to the governors and the states of the Union. The corrupted federalized government has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of various districts of people unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. The corrupted federalized government has called together legislative bodies at unusual places, unusual days and times, uncomfortable and distanced from the depository of their public records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing the citizens into compliance with its measures. The corrupted federalized government has utilized the representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness its invasions on the rights of the people. The corrupted federalized government has refused for a long time, after such dissolutions, to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsion within. The corrupted federalized government has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for that purpose, obscuring the laws of naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. The corrupted federalized government has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing its assents to laws for manipulating judiciary powers and has made judges dependent upon its will alone. The The corrupted federalized government has erected a multitude of new offices and agencies and sent hither swarms of its officers to harass our people and to eat them out of their home and their substance. The corrupted federalized government has used against us in times of peace military force without the consent of the citizens. The corrupted federalized government has attempted to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. The corrupted federalized government has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving its assent to their acts of pretended legislation, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of American laws in a neighboring free state, establishing therein an arbitrary government and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these states, for taking away our charters, abolishing our more valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our government, for suspending our own legislators and declaring themselves invested with powers to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever, for suspending our rights as is stated in the Constitution of the United States, for purposely placing our nation into a debt crisis and concentrating upon spending the citizens' tax dollars for other nations instead of our own, for purposely declaring and extending unnecessary wars with no intent to win such wars. The corrupted federalized government has abdicated government here by declaring us out of its protection and has allowed invaders to wage war against us. The federalized government has allowed our seas to be plundered, our coasts to be ravaged, our towns to be burned, and have allowed the lives of our people to be endangered or destroyed. The corrupted federalized government is at this time transporting our armies to defend foreign lands while neglecting to protect the borders of our own nation from invasion. The corrupted federalized government has excited in the past domestic insurrections amongst us and endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our nation, the merciless political savages, whose known rule of warfare is undistinguished destruction of all ages, races, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injuries. Any leader whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the leaders of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our American brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislators to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence and our freedom. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind. We must remain peaceful and remain friends unless provoked to war. We therefore, the citizens of the United States of America, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by authority of the good citizens of these states solemnly publish and declare that these United States are, and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all forced allegiance to the corrupted federalized government, and that all political connections between them and the corrupted federalized government is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as a free and independent state, the citizens of those states have full power to establish a citizen's constitution as the new law of the land. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor for our freedom. May the corruption be exposed in our federalized government and cleaned up. May we, the citizens of the United States, experience true freedom and independence once again. May we remember that a house divided against itself will indeed fall. Please review the original Declaration of Independence that Thomas Jefferson wrote over 248 years ago. Take your time, evaluate what our founding fathers were stating and the similarities that have arisen within our own great nation in such a short period of time. Remember, absolute power absolutely corrupts. The citizens of this nation have been told time and time again that we are to bow to the corrupt federalized government. Yet that very government was supposed to be we the people, by the people, for the people. The federalized government has forgotten that they work for the people and not the other way around. If it was not one of tyranny, then why does that government continually spy on its own citizens? Why does that government continually hide from its citizens? Why does that government continue to take tax dollars from its citizens and give it to other countries? Why does that government seem to want to bring invaders into its own country instead of protecting its citizens? We need to revive freedom with integrity and become a nation of we the citizens, by the citizens, and for the citizens. And to all those that believe, God bless.
It has been 248 years since I wrote the Declaration of Independence. It seems to me that the Citizens Freedom Network understands that the current government is corrupted and needs to be revised to suit the needs of the citizens. I approve this message and encourage you to join for your freedom.
If you would like more information, check us out at citizensfreedomnetwork.com. Thank you for watching. And as always, we appreciate those that follow, subscribe, and like. Thank you. Have a good day.